Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to discuss reading comprehension. This is exercise passage 5. Let's begin. First of all, the index. Exercise questions based on passage 5 along with answers and explanations and summary as well. Disclaimer is the images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Let's see the directions. Read the following passages carefully and answer the given questions. Certain words and phrases are given in bold in the passages to help you locate them while answering some of the questions. Questions are to be answered on the basis of the information provided in the passage, and you are not expected to rely on outside knowledge of a particular topic. Your own views or opinions may sometimes conflict with the views expressed or the information provided in the passage. Be sure that you work within the context of the passage. You should not expect to agree with everything you encounter in reading passages. You should analyze the passage carefully before answering the accompanying questions. Look for clues that will help you understand less explicit aspects of the passage. Try to separate main ideas from supporting ideas or evidence. Note transition from one idea to the next and examine the relationships among the different ideas or parts of the passage. For example, are they contrasting? Are they complementary? Consider the points the author made, the conclusion drawn, and how and why those points are made or conclusions are drawn. Read each question carefully and be certain that you understand exactly what is being asked. Always read all the answer choices before selecting the best answer. The best answer is the one that accurately and completely answers the questions being posed. Be careful not to pick an answer choice simply because it is a true statement. Be careful also not to be misled by answer choices that are only partially true or only partially satisfy the problem posed in the question. The methodology of eliminating wrong answers also works here. It simply means that if you are unable to judge the right choice or right answer, cross the answers that are incorrect. In this way, if there remains one answer to be crossed, that will be the correct answer. I hope you've understood the directions. Let's start with questions. Question number 1. The passage is, let's read the passage. A Russian proverb advises us not to buy a house, but the neighborhood, while till some years ago it was impossible to dictate who lived with you in the same quarters. Today, when you think of buying a home, you could actually create your own dream neighborhood thanks to the internet and the group buying model. The group buying model has been applied in different industries, from cars to baby merchandise to pet care products. Now the trend is catching on in the real estate sector, with many sites as well as broking firms offering group deals on real estate projects in India. The way it works is simple. Take xyz.com for example. This is an online and offline integrated platform which showcases property. It uses social media networks to let buyers know about possible good deals and leaving it to them to do some viral marketing. Once a large group of buyers is thus formed, xyz.com introduces it to the developer and helps negotiate a suitable discount. Since the developer does not have to pay for the marketing, it is willing enough to pay these companies a transaction fee, which is a percentage of the total value of the deal. For the buyers, it offers the best rates at no fee, thus making it a win-win capital proposition for all involved. The developers also benefit by getting substantial cash flow, giving them a good amount of working capital. In today's real estate scenario, bulk buying could be the answer to the market slump and the long-awaited cash flow, says the founder of xyz.com. Sometimes the discount size is not to be sneered at. Discounts on group buying vary from 5 to 30%. Here, sneer means to make a different facial gesture. Average divergence from market rate being 25 to 30%. Customer buy-in in this model, but is it a temporary fad? Here, fad means a trend which does not last long. In a way, the online group buying setup is similar to the model developers share with speculators who buy in bulk even before the project gets kick-started and get discounts of 30-40%. They pay 50% of the property value upfront group. Buying companies prove more beneficial for developers as they get away with providing lesser discounts than to speculators. Some sound a note of caution on the trend. Present conditions are conducive for this business. Conducive means suitable. Model group as group buying works well in a situation where stocks are moving slowly, markets are jittery. Jittery means nervous and frightened, and there is a ample supply. Ample means a lot of. It may not work in a seller's market. Another caution is very often the builder do not offer the best inventory to the group in terms of location and utility. The buyers have to use their astute judgment. Astute means clever to avoid such traps. I hope you understood the passage. Let's start with questions. The discount size on group buying compared to usual discount to speculators is usually. Options are given below. Option 1 is less, option 2 more, option 3 equal, option 4 unpredictable, option 5 much higher. I hope you have understood the options and you have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5 much higher. And the explanation is in the passage. It states that speculators often get discounts of 30 to 40%, but group buying discounts can range from 5 to 30%, with the average divergence from market rate being 25 to 30%. So when comparing the two, speculators get 30 to 40% off, which is usually higher than the discounts offered in a group buying. However, the discount size for group buying in some cases can be higher than typical market rates, up to 30%, especially in a slow moving or jittery market. Thus, in certain cases, the group buying discount could be much higher compared to the standard market discounts or discounts given to speculators. The term much higher here reflects a potential scenario when group buying deals are significantly better in some cases. So the correct answer is 5, much higher. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the next question. This is the same passage, and the question is which of the following may be the objective of the passage? Options are: option 1 is to reveal less discounts being offered by the developers. The second one to highlight the problems of housing industry. The third one is to highlight the importance of neighborhood in one's life. Fourth one is to provide information on group buying trends of property. The fifth one is to inform the buyers about ample supply of property. I hope you have understood the options. Let's move. You have 10 seconds to choose one of these. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 4, to provide information on group buying trends of property. And the explanation is the passage primarily focuses on the group buying model applied in the real estate sector, where buyers form a group to negotiate better rates and discounts for property purchases. It details how this model works, the benefits for both developers and buyers, and how the discounts offered through group buying compare to those given to speculators. It also addresses the conditions under which group buying works best and warns buyer about potential risk. While the passage touches on related topics like the importance of neighborhood and the dynamics of the housing industry, the main objective is clearly to provide information about the group buying trends in real estate. Therefore, option 4 is the correct answer. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the next question. The same passage. The next question is group buying of real estate is done. Options are mainly offline, only through brokers, either online or offline, in a secret manner only. You have 10 seconds to choose the right one. I hope you have chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 4, either online or offline. And the explanation is the passage explicitly mentions that the group buying of real estate is done through a platform that is online and offline integrated. This indicates that the process involves both online and offline methods. Buyers are introduced to good deals through social media networks, which is an online activity, while the transaction itself can involve offline interactions, such as negotiating with the developers. Thus, group buying in real estate is not restricted to just one method, but is a combination of both online and offline approaches, making option 4 the correct answer. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the next question. The same basis. The next question is the group buying model certainly did not start with. Options are cars, real estate, pet care products, baby products, motorcycles. You have 10 seconds to choose one of these. I hope you have chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5 motorcycles. And the explanation is the passage mentioned that the group buying model has been applied in different industries such as cars, baby merchandise, and pet care products. However, it does not mention motorcycles as one of the sectors where group buying initially started. Therefore, the group buying model did not start with motorcycles, making option 5 the correct answer. I hope you've understood. The next question is XYZ.com are the options are developers, financiers, loan providers, speculators, and none of these. You have to choose one of these and you have 10 seconds for this. I hope you have chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5 none of these. The explanation is according to the passage, XYZ.com is described as an online and offline integrated platform that showcases properties. It uses social media networks to help buyers find good deals and form a group. Once a group of buyers is formed, XYZ.com introduces them to the developer and negotiates a discount. Thus, XYZ.com is not a developer, financer, loan provider, or speculator. Instead, it acts as a platform or intermediary that facilitates group buying in real estate. Since none of the provided info options accurately describes XYZ.com, the correct answer is 5 none of these. I hope you have understood. The next question is in which of the following situations customers buy in model may not work? Options are buyer's market, when markets are booming with ample supply, when there is short supply, when houses are comparatively cheap. It is a mode for all seasons. You have 10 seconds to choose one of these. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 3 when there is short supply. And the explanation is in the passage. It is clearly stated that the group buying model, customer buy-in model, works well in situations where there is ample supply and markets are jittery or moving slowly. However, the model may not work in a seller's market where there is a short supply of properties. In such scenarios, builders may not be willing to offer large discounts to group buyers because demand outstrips supply and they don't need to incentivize bulk purchases. Thus, short supply in the market makes it difficult for the group buying model to be effective, as developers would prefer to sell at higher prices without offering discounts. Therefore, the correct answer is 3 when there is short supply. The next question is choose the word which is the most opposite in meaning of the word printed in bold as used in the passage. Dictate. Options are read, manipulate, speak, wish, control. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5 control. And the explanation is in the passage the word dictate refers to the act of commanding or controlling a situation, specifically regarding who lives in a neighborhood when buying a home. The proverb essentially suggests that you can't control or dictate who your neighbor will be, but with modern tools, you can create your own dream neighborhood. The opposite of dictate, which implies giving commands or having control over something, is control. Both words involve influence over an outcome, but in this context, control represents the opposite of dictating, being in command of the situation. Thus, control is the most opposite in meaning to dictate in the context of the passage. I hope you've understood. The question is, which of the following is one of the questions posed in the passage? Options are, is group buying model a temporary fad? Is the builder offering you the best inventory? Should we buy a house or the neighborhood? Are present market conditions conducive for this business? Speculators versus group buyers? You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you have chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 1. Is group buying model a temporary fad? And the explanation is the passage includes the question, but is it a temporary fad in relation to the group buying model in real estate? This question addresses concerns about whether this new way of purchasing real estate through group buying will continue to be effective or is just a passing trend. The other options, while relevant to the topic, are not explicitly stated as questions in the passage. Therefore, the correct answer is 1. Is group buying model a temporary fad? The next question is, choose the word which is the most opposite in meaning of the word printed in bold as used in the passage. Integrated. Options are an inorganic, refresh, isolated, volatile, and impersonal. You have options given below and you have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 3. Isolated. In the passage, the word integrated refers to something that is combined or unified. In this case, it describes a platform that integrates both online and offline elements to showcase properties. The opposite of integrated would be isolated. Isolated refers to something that is separated or detached from other elements, which is the direct opposite of being integrated, where things are combined or brought together. Therefore, isolated is something that is separated or not combined, is the opposite of integrated, something combined or unified. I hope you have understood. The next question is, choose a word which is most nearly the same in meaning of the word group of words printed in bold as used in the passage, catching on. The options are continue on, get interested, enthusiastic about, become popular, and get involved. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 4. Become popular. In the passage, the phrase catching on refers to the idea that group buying trend is becoming more widely accepted or gaining popularity, especially in the real estate sector. The passage mentions that the trend is catching on in the real estate sector, meaning it is becoming popular or gaining traction in this area. Thus, for become popular is the most accurate meaning of catching on in the context of the passage. I hope you've understood. The next question is, which of the following is true in the context of the passage? Options are the buyers though have to pay higher fee and price get their dream neighborhood. The customer buy-in model is not dependent on market conditions. Group buying companies don't buy with the same objective as that of speculators. The builders or developers offer the best available property to the group buyers. The speculators generally pay 30 to 40% of the property value upfront even before the project gets started. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you have chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 3. Group buying companies don't buy with the same objective as that of speculators. And the explanation is in this passage, it is explained that group buying companies and speculators operate under different models and objectives. While speculators typically buy in bulk before a project begins, offer seeking significant discounts 30 to 40%, group buying companies facilitate a collective purchasing process that does not require the same level of upfront investment or the same strategies as speculators. Therefore, 3 group buying companies don't buy with the same objective as that of speculators is the only statement that aligns accurately with the information provided in the passage. I hope you've understood. The next question is, which of the following is not true in the context of the passage? Options are, the speculators also buy in bulk. Social media network is used for marketing group buying. The group buying companies take a transaction fee from both buyers as well as developers. The speculators get a better deal in terms of discounts as compared to that of other group buying companies. The present conditions as given in the passage are not so good for developers of real estate. I hope you've understood and you have 10 seconds to choose the right one. I hope you have chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5. The present conditions as given in the passage are not so good for developers of real estate. And the explanation is, in this passage, it is clearly stated that the current market conditions are actually beneficial for the group buying model. The passage mentions that group buying works well in a situation where stocks are moving slowly, markets are jittery, and there is ample supply. This is the very scenario that developers are facing. And group buying can help them gain cash flow and help move inventory during a market slump. The founder of XYZ even mentions, in today's real estate scenario, bulk buying could be the answer to the market slump and the long awaited cash flow. Thus, present conditions are accurately conducive for developers, not bad. Thus, the statement about the correct market conditions being bad for developers, option 5 is not true in the context of the passage. I hope you understood. The next question is, choose the word which is the most opposite in meaning of the word printed in bold as used in the passage, astute. Options are intelligent, sharp, insider, statute, knave. You have 10 seconds to choose one of these. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5, knave. And the explanation is, in the passage, astute refers to someone who is sharp, clever, and perceptive. Someone who can notice things quickly and make good judgments, especially when it comes to making decisions. The opposite of being astute would be knave. A knave person is someone who is innocent, inexperienced, or unaware of complex situations, lacking the sharpness or cleverness associated with being astute. Therefore, knave, someone who lacks insight or awareness, is the opposite of astute. I hope you understood. Which of the following best describes the meaning of the Russian proverb being quoted? Options are, it's better to rent a house than to buy it. Don't buy a single flat but buy multiple flats. Fools build houses, wise people live in them. Buy a house after negotiating the deal. None of the above. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 5. None of the above. The Russian proverb quoted in the passage is, don't buy a house but the neighborhood. This means that when buying a house, the quality of the surrounding neighborhood and the community is more important than the house itself. In other words, you should focus on the environment you will be living in rather than just the physical property. None of the options provided accurately capture this meaning. So the correct answer is 5, none of the above. The question is, choose the word which is the most opposite in meaning of the word printed in bold as used in the passage. Fad. Options are period, trend, focus, luxury, phase. You have 10 seconds to choose accordingly. I hope you've chosen the right one. Let's move to the correct answer. The correct answer is 2, trend. In the passage, fad refers to something that is popular for a short period and tends to fade quickly, often considered temporary or fleeting. The passage raises the question about whether the group buying model is just a fad or a more lasting shift in real estate buying behavior. The opposite of a fad, something temporary, would be something more long lasting and stable. Like a trend refers to something that gains popularity and persists over a longer period, indicating more sustained interest. This trend is the most fitting opposite of fad, since it suggests that something lasts over time, whereas fad is short lived. I hope you understood. So this is all about this session. Thank you.